Hi everyone. Look, I'm a mess. Okay, my internet.
What's new?
Savage.
We were just talking about how when things go wrong on the channel, everybody loves it. So I really need everyone to act like they love it. Just checking. Can the chat actually hear me and see me? Because my computer is telling me I have no internet when I'm trying to do stuff. So it'd be really. I guess you guys can hear me.
We can see you.
Yeah.
And apologising for the lighting today. Look, here we are. Look. Trish Milburn. Look, you may think she's just a little old hag on the Road to Hagdom team. She's not. Trish has hidden talents. Trish is an award-winning author. Huzzah! And she does all the things. So today we're actually going to talk to Trish about her books, in particular her K-pop novels and her series of An Idol in Love, and her new series that's coming up. Could have been a K drama. K-drama. But first of all, we have a new guest panelist who hasn't been on before, Sarah. Yay! So she's at the OGSG. So usually on Twitter. Sarah, tell us how you got into K-pop. As we ask all our guests.
My daughter, who is now 20, got me into K-pop in 2016. She was listening to BTS on her phone. I was teasing her about what she was listening to because I had no idea. You know, I had a preconceived notion of K-pop. So she showed me, and of course I fell in love because they're all beautiful and very talented. And then from there, you know, EXO, VIX, and then just everyone. Multi.
Classics.
ATEEZ is my ult now. Because, you know, obvious reasons.
Same. I mean, who wouldn't have the results? Hang on, here we go. We've got quite a few people in the chat. Hi, everyone. Apparently.
Hey. Hello.
Mike.
Hi,
Mike's
everybody.
Getting ready. Mike's getting ready for an in-depth conversation.
Surprise.
Mike, we already know.
Mike.
Okay,
some
Trish.
winemaker should totally make a wine named after Mike at this point.
I know.
Yeah.
He's literally repping for the whole, the whole drink.
Yeah, he really is. Thanks, Mike, for always being a great contributor to the comment section. Right, Trish, look, tell us when did you? How long have you been writing? When did you start writing? What's your background?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I was a journalist. I was a journalism student in college, and then I was a newspaper and then a magazine reporter. So I was always writing something. But as far as fiction goes, I started working on my first manuscript that has not seen the light of day and shall remain that way. Back when I was in my first reporting job. I just did it when I was at home, and so it took me 11 years of submitting to publishers and stuff to make my first sale, and a lot of tears in the interim. It's like, nobody likes my books. So I finally sold both to Harlequin and to Penguin Razorbill in the same year, in 2008. I sold 2 romances to Harlequin, and then 2 young adult novels to Penguin. And then since then, that was 2007. The first book came out in 2008. And then since then, I've published over 50 novels and novellas. So
wow. Well, let me just show as we're talking. Look, here's Trish's website, and I was just having a look at it today. Look at all these books. They're just the K-pop ones, and I bet they're not half of them are on here. Look at the cover art, which we're going to talk about soon. Look at those cowboy.
Yeah, I've written a lot of cowboy books.
It's kind of funny because I actually remember how I met Trish online. Is that I won a giveaway for one of those cowboy book novels. Mm-hmm. And she sent it to me, and then I just thought it was so lovely, and I was like, I should be friends with her. And then I was like, she's into K-pop? What is this? And and it's been a beautiful friendship ever since.
I love Natalia.
we have heard how we got into K-pop before. Just quickly tell us how you got into K-pop, and also when you decided to start actually writing about
it. I got into K-pop in the latter half of 2018 and wish it had been much sooner. But I stumbled across it. Netflix had suggested I watch this Chinese drama called The Rise of Phoenixes. And after I finished that, it started recommending K-dramas. And so I kind of went down that road. And it was when I was watching Scarlet Heart, the Korean version, that I heard this song and in the soundtrack. And I have always loved soundtrack music. I have like CDs of soundtracks from movies and TV shows and stuff. So I heard this song, and when I investigated it, it was a song by XOCBX. And and then of course, like Baekhyun is in the show, in the drama, he plays in it. And so Baekhyun and EXO were my entry into K-pop. And so I started listening to, a lot of EXO at the beginning. And then found VIX and I can't remember what the progression was past that. It was just like, give me all the groups. And that has continued. It's like, please, more, bring them all. So then it was in probably early 2019. At about the same period, I had been writing cowboy books for a long time, and I was getting burned out. I was like, I just needed something different. And so I know exactly what precipitated the thought of, hey, let's write a K-pop series. I was watching the Dynamite performance by SHINee during their SHINee World 4 concert. And I was like, okay, there's a Minho moment that may have inspired this.
Yeah, isn't there always?
And so I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do that. And so I started coming up with ideas and researching, because obviously I am not Korean. I didn't want to say or do anything that would reflect poorly. So and I continue to do research. It's like, because it's like, and if I ever make a mistake, it's like, if somebody points it out, I'm more than happy to change it, because, again, it's not my culture. It's just something I really appreciate. And I have always, since I was a kid, loved learning about other cultures, which was weird for a little girl in rural Kentucky, but, but it was just, and you didn't have, I'm old, so there was no internet back then. So it was like, hey, let's go to the library and pull out the encyclopedias kind of situation. So, then it was like, I started planning out, the first part of the series, and went from there. Can't hear
Frankie, you muted.
She's muted.
Muted, girl. Girl, you muted.
Hardly ever muted.
Get it together, Frankie.
What we need is something more subtle. Our boss got us these coffee mugs with you're on mute. So when we had our team meetings, you could just hold it up and sort of like. What I was going to say is, you're actually a full-time writer? Is this your full-time profession now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I left my last reporting job. I still do it freelance. I still freelance report and I freelance edit. But full-time reporting, I left that in early 2005 and have been a full-time writer since then.
Okay. And look, how long does it actually take you? This I always wonder, how long does it take you to write one of these books?
One of these books, I can write a first draft that will still need work in about 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
If I'm writing, it's more on the 6 weeks side of things now. When I was younger, I wrote a little faster, and now my brain just
that's about how long it takes me to actually read a book. Okay.
But no, I mean, I typically, it's like, I think in word counts, and I've gotten to the point now. I take Sundays off. I didn't used to. I used to just work 7 days a week, and now I take Sundays off, and that's when I just binge dramas and. Now I'll just be packing, but anyway, because I'm moving. But so yeah, I will usually write about 5 to 6 days a week and try to get 1,000 to 2,000 words a day, depending on like if I have freelance work I have to do and that kind of thing. So
how many books are in this the Idle in Love series? And is
Idle in Love series right now, as of right now, it has 8. There are 6 that are part of the first arc. That's about the fictional group SBG. And then the most recent 2 are the beginning of what's going to be a 9-book arc. It's still in the same world. You know, and there's some interactions between these groups. But it's a different group called Sky High. And so
because I know some of the ladies here have read all of them. I don't read much, so I've only read I've only read Shining Star, which Trish, I don't read a lot, right? You know, I just don't. Like, I used to read. Like, I used to spend hours before computers were invented. Right, I used to spend hours reading Stephen King and stuff like that. But so I don't read a lot lately. But reading your book, I don't know. I don't usually get into romance either, but it was that stupid Imitations fault as well. Right? If anyone
Gotcha.
We did a whole series on Imitation. So I read Shining Star, and I honestly, some bits were so freaking sweet. I got glazed over, Trish. I got glazed over at a K-pop romance. You knocked me down with a feather. So you're continuing with this one. You started the new series as well.
there could have been a K-drama. Yeah.
Could have been a K-drama. And then, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, and are they linked at all?
They are also in the same world. Like, for instance, the hero in the first book in the could have been a K-drama, and those are novellas. They're shorter than the K-pop books. So the plan is for me to like write one of those in between each of the K-pop books. It's like, you know, it's like a little bit of a palate cleanser and gives me time to kind of mull in the back of my mind the next K-pop book. But yes, the hero in Summer Rain, which is the first of the K-drama novellas, is an actor. And he, in one of the previous K-pop books, the Idle in Love series, he is mentioned as having played in a drama with one of the guys who's in SBG. So he's been mentioned, but like a lot of people will probably have forgotten that fact. But it's like it's like a little Easter egg kind of things.
Yeah, the little red strings linking everything together on the board.
They all live in this same fictional world, but yeah.
Okay,
right.
Look, I want to go to some questions from the ladies, but first, and talk a bit more about. I want to talk to young Natalia here. So Natalia has been doing the illustrations for your book, for the covers of your books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have a look at some of them shortly. But I just want to, how do you go about? Did you give Natalia free rein on what they should look like, or did you describe a physical type or a personality type?
So I'll sort of tell.
How did it work?
Trish, is it okay if I tell them the real? So the first cover I did actually wasn't related to any of them, because Trish was in our group chat and she was talking about how frustrated she was at the covers because she couldn't find any good artwork to go on the covers because there weren't any, good stock photos or whatever. And I had just been working on like a new style that I was experimenting with. And I was like, yo, Trish, do you just like want this for your cover? And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, you can just like, here, like, I'm not doing anything with it. Like, here you go. And then she was like, this is insane. And I was like, yeah, I'll do your cover.
I don't think I said it was insane.
No. It was more just like, that's me paraphrasing, as it were. And then so basically how it went after that, and I forget which book that's the cover of. I don't have them in front of me because
I've got all of them here.
It's one second. I do actually have them all in my computers, and they're all named. So that is the first one that was done
Was it the latest book?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was The Rhythm of Love was the first one that I did.
Yeah, that's book 3. Yeah.
Book 3? Mm-hmm. I got it.
Yeah, book 3. And then, so how it would work after that is she would give me, like, loose instructions. Like, so I was, like, maybe thinking of this guy when I was writing this? And then I came up with I call them my collection of Uncanny Valley idols, where it's like, they look vaguely like people you might know, but
that was my next question.
They're
It's
not
almost
that
like
bad.
it's almost
So
like
let's
you
go
put
through.
some like it's almost like you put several idols in a blender, and this is what came
yeah.
out.
This is
You know?
like, who's that man? That is no man. That's no man. So basically,
this is my next question.
I would source like images for poses and stuff, like from like stage performances or whatever, and then I would just change it.
Because I went through, and there was people that they reminded me of. So we're gonna have a look, and you tell me, this guy, I reckon he must be a member of Victon.
Incorrect.
The dimples, though. The dimples.
No, didn't source Victon whatsoever. Actually,
he looks a bit like Bi. I don't know.
No. Actually, I sourced. I went out of. It wasn't just K-pop idols. I sourced all over Asia, for many different vibes. But no Victon there.
This? Fine. This one. I don't know who that reminds me of.
Okay, so this guy, I didn't actually source an image of him. I was like, why does he look kind of like a way cooler Henry Lau?
He reminds me of one of the guys from Vanna. He reminds me of Gon from Vanna.
And it's funny because, like, even though, like, I have, in order to be able to, like, write, I have what's called visual inspiration. And it's like, these characters are not based on an idol. It's just a visual inspiration that I like bring up in my mind when I'm writing. And it's like, and then the covers don't end up looking like those people. It's just because it's like, it's not fan fiction. I watched last week's show, and it's not fan fiction. It's just, like, I can't just have like this blank, faceless person in my mind. It's like I have to have something to go off of.
Yeah. Let me show a few more of these. So, I don't know. That's nice. I love the colors in that one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, Jimin.
It's not.
Oh,
you know what?
There you go. Jimin. Everyone reckons Jimin.
Even the outfit.
The same.
Artist of the month.
Listen, I'm like telling y'all, I didn't actually ever source any member of BTS, so. They're a
subconscious coming
mishmash.
through.
That reminds me of Sunu from.
I would take an expression from
Victon
one
as well.
guy, and the hair from another guy, and the pose
Minhyuk
from one guy,
Yep.
and the whatever from the coloring of another dude. Like, you never know who's
the hair. Is that a mullet?
That might be. I had to sneak one in there. Trish told me no, but I couldn't stop myself. The heart wants.
It's a mullet. You're trying to cover it up. You're trying to cover it up with the
hand.
Listen,
there's G-Dragon. Okay.
So
Gotta love the undercut.
just it's not that man. It's like that man, but it ain't that man. They're my Uncanny Valley idols. Mullet. Yes, M's in chat for mullets. Woo.
All right.
Hey, I see Terry in the chat. Hi, Terry.
Right. Moving on to the actual book. We've all read the book.
Yes.
Right. Some of you have read the entire series.
Now I'm going to try to remember the book.
Now I feel like I should.
Same.
Who's got who's got some questions? Can we have some questions from the panel? Got any questions? Your turn.
I have one. Just because you had mentioned that.
Yeah.
That the new novella series that's about the K-drama inspired stuff is in the same kind of universe as the K-pop books. Are you planning to do any crossovers where there are actual interactions between any of the characters?
I think that I probably will at some point. Like even in the Summer Rain, the K-drama book, like the hero comes in at some point where the heroine is painting a mural kind of on the wall, and she's listening to music as she does it. And she's listening to SBG, which is the first group. And so he's like, hey, I can like set up a meeting if you want to meet them, because there was that connection where he and one of their members, Remy, were
in the
drama together. So it's like, I'm beginning to sort of gradually feed it together. So I'm thinking like one of the books in the Sky High series may be where one of the guys is off playing in a drama, because we all know that like K-pop and K-drama are just they're always overlapping each other.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Well, I was wondering if you were talking about your visual inspiration. I was wondering if you would tell us all your visual inspirations. Can you tell us?
I have some for
Trish?
some of them, and for others, it's more like what Natalia was saying. It's kind of a combination.
That's okay too.
I mean, Minho from Shiny was the inspiration for the first one, and it's like, I mean, because he just was.
I'm sure he's inspiration for a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm old enough to be his mother, so no.
It's not illegal. We don't judge here. Nice Nuna romance, you know.
But like with Hearts in Harmony, that one I didn't really have specific ones in mind. That one is also it's the only male romance I've ever written, and it was just the thing is like it I had that story in my mind. Terry. I had that story in mind very early on, but it was like I chose to write it last of that group because it was probably the one with the biggest conflict, you know, the biggest thing that could like totally torpedo their careers. And it also, I wanted to, again, it was kind of like, I'm not Korean, so I needed to research and really think about doing Korean stories the best that I could. Mm-hmm. And it was the same with this. I had never written a same-sex romance before. And I was like, I don't want to mess this up. So I just let that story percolate in the back of my mind as I was writing the ones that came before it. So I didn't really have visual inspiration for those characters. It was kind of just a mixture. Let's see. The one that you all were saying looked like Young from ATEEZ or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that was in Beautiful Melody. Actually, Suho from EXO was who I had in mind there.
And I just went on a wild trip with all these. I was just
yeah. I mean, it was just
who knows who it is. I'll never tell.
I will say that the new K-drama one, it was funny because I had somebody mention to me, because his name is the hero's name is Dosu Hun, and so everybody thought that I was well, I just completely blanked on the actor's name. His name is Suhoon. What is his last name?
Park.
No, it's
not him.
Is it Kim Suhoon? Anyway,
what show was he in?
He was in It's Okay to Not Be Okay. I'm blanking.
So
Suhyun.
Suhyun,
I believe.
Yeah. I'm blanking on his family name.
Kim.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. But anyway, everybody's like, "Oh, I see what you did there." I was like, "It's not based on him at all. It's just it happens to be the same name." I actually used actor So Kong Jun, who was in When the Weather is Fine, and Are You Human Too? He was my visual inspiration for him. And it's funny because in the K-pop books until recently, I really wasn't. I didn't come up so much with visual inspiration for the girls, but I kind of am now. And so the inspiration for her, Sarah, her name is Sarah Park. So, hi Sarah. But and I apologize if I butcher names. But her name is Guri from Promise 9. She's very pretty. And it was like, I was just kind of going through on K profiles, I was looking at girl groups and just kind of scrolling through. And I was like, oh yeah, that is mostly what she would look like. So.
Thank you. Any other questions for Trish before I ask you guys all a question?
I wanted to know too, when you kind of talked about it a little bit when you were talking about how book 6, Hearts in Harmony, was in your head during the most of the series. I'm curious to know if the crossover idea with Sky High was also in your head, and also did you have specific K-pop industry issues in your head, or did it just kind of come as you went, or did you all have that all figured out? Do you know what I mean?
A little bit of both. I knew there was some, because you're not in K-pop for very long before you start seeing similarity in issues that come up. So, I mean, I knew that there would be like a Sasang issue, and that was in the first book, a big time one. And, but there were, other issues that came up, like the whole fan war nonsense that I just think is a stupid waste of time. That came up where, because like the fans of these two groups kind of like lose their minds sometimes, going after each other, but which I just think is silly in real life and in fiction.
Such a waste of time.
But yeah, so yeah, I've done the whole like dating ban thing, Sasangs, the one where how they get crushed at the airports by fans and people too close up to them. The whole selling of personal information that happens on the black market. Paparazzi kind of stuff. Just kind of, anything when, I take notes or mental notes at least whenever I see issues come up, like in news. So.
Yeah, and this book, so the book we just read, Shining Star, had a few of those. So we're not going to give away the I'm not going to spoil it, but it's about a stylist and an idol, and there's romance, and there's a bit of stalking involved, and there's but also
not between them.
No, not between them. No. And there's also, I really love though. There's a bit of the old a new age company where they're starting to allow dating and stuff like that.
They're a cool company. Okay?
They're a cool company.
They're cool.
Really like it.
They're not like
and
the other
has a cool
K-pop
CEO.
companies. Yeah,
cool CEO, exactly. Now, look, this is a question. This is a fun question, just for you guys. If you were a stylist for a K-pop group, what's the one single item of clothing that you would, if you could only dress them like in one item of clothing or one sort of, the classic K-pop. What would you dress them in? Trish, what's your favorite sort of look for idols?
Awesome coats. I love coats.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like I just recently saw, this comes across my feed every now and then. It was, and I can't remember what the program was, but it was like several groups from a few years ago, and they all were performing together, and they were performing each other's songs on stage. Like there was like Pentagon and K&K, I can't remember. There were like 6 groups or something, and it's like K&K's members had these awesome like red and black and white like long coats, and I'm just like, oh. And like K-dramas are like, it's like a parade of awesome coats, So
yeah. I remember coats. Remember Soen Guk when he did his what was it? Bebe? That and he was walking around just in that Bebe, and he's walking around in that coat. My Lord, my God, that coat. And of course, one of my favorite boys of all time, Mingi. They always put the tall ones in the coats, don't they?
Oh,
yes.
I love Tong Jun's coat in their Universe release.
I haven't seen that yet. Well, I haven't seen that yet.
His coat.
And
I love it.
Spoiler alert, there's a coat.
I'm not spoiling anything, just saying the coat. The coat was amazing.
Just remember the coat.
Yes, we're having a new series coming up where some of these K-pop friends show me the K-pop I've missed out on. So ATs will be first up. Look forward to that. Right, Sui, what would your number one styling piece be?
I'm so bad with style questions because I don't have any at all. But I want them to be comfortable. So my first thought is just
tracksuits.
Like jeans and like button down white shirt or a white t-shirt or something, or a fuzzy hoodie, or I don't know.
They just need
really
shirts at this point.
Yeah.
There's like a shirt
That's such
shortage.
a boring answer, I know, but I just love that look. Just their comfortable look. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah,
like streetwear.
Yeah, I just like that.
Sarah?
I mean, I'm all about the harnesses and the chains.
I knew someone was going to either. You didn't let me down.
Damn it, that was going to be mine. Now I gotta
belly
come up
chain,
with
whatever. All of that.
Sarah
of that.
didn't let me down.
Not going to lie.
Do you remember?
I also like the fuzzy sweater look, but if I had to choose.
Next time Sarah's on the show, down at the bottom, we say, I'm all about the harnesses.
Remember
I'll never
Beats
live
with
it down.
Bean?
Great.
Remember when he had his Hunter era and he had a harness on under his shirt? Oh, and he had his shirt undone at the fan sign and he just had this harness. Oh, I've dropped all my notes. Show's going to shit now. Okay.
I mean,
Per usual.
Well,
Natalia.
like
Who
mine
needs
was going to
notes?
be like fetish wear, but that was clearly just taken. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with mesh shirts. Just everyone in a mesh shirt. Just
Nice.
And
cross
just
the
hint of a
board.
nipple.
Just
Hint of a
everyone,
nipple.
with the one nipple cover. Just the one.
The nip.
They got like the sash over the nip, or like the barely holding together jacket with the one button. You know, a la Vic's, where he does this and the nipple keeps switching. Ooh, that was a wild move. That was a wild move. Fingerless gloves, and we'll go with some nice fingerless gloves, just for.
I almost said the gloves. Yeah, for sure.
Little, or those gloves that are only fingers. Only finger, either fingerless
gloves now
or only finger gloves. That's
those ones Juhan had once, the gloves that just had, this definitely took a turn. Juhan had these little like bondage fingertip gloves. They were just too much.
Listen, they can't have a full glove. It either needs to be no fingers or only fingers. Those are the rules. Yeah. I didn't make them. That's just how it goes.
All right. Sorry.
You're describing Wano. Yes. I am describing Wonho. I just want Wonho, okay?
This has gone down the tubes. So look, what I want to do now is actually call for, unless the panel's got any more questions, if you do, I want to actually call for some questions from the viewers. So if you can drop some questions in the chat, and I will bring them up for Trish to answer. Come on, I expect a couple of questions. Meanwhile,
while we're waiting on that, I saw thanks to Miranda for putting up my website, but I also wanted to mention the Word of the K website that I started, and Natalia designed for me, because she's like the most awesome person.
Listen, I'm good at one thing and one thing only, and that is doing things for no money.
I disagree.
But no, it's Word of the, and then the letter K.com. And I wanted a space that was all about my Korean content. So it has stuff about my books, both series. And then I do a weekly blog on Wednesdays where I talk about some aspect of Korean entertainment. Like I've talked about, about ageism in K-pop, and when K-dramas get the endings right and when they don't, those kind of things. I wanted something that was longer form than, it's the journalist in me coming out, or the just wordiness. And
here we go.
Yeah, it's longer than a tweet thread.
Oh, okay. And we've got here. We've got books.
What is your favorite book you have done so far? Oh, that's impossible to answer.
Like her children.
Come on, Sophie's Choice. Pick one of them.
Do you have a favorite lead character?
I love them all, but it's kind of like my firstborn. The first in the series was special to me because it's like it took my career down a completely different direction. It's like, that's it. That's like the blog page. So yeah, it's, that first one, but it's like every one of them, it's sort of like, I always describe them as, they're obviously fiction. I try to bring reality into them, but they are a mixture of what is and what I wish was. It's like, there are things that happen in them that don't really happen in the K-pop world. Like I think if, two members of a group came out as gay as a couple, their careers would be over, So, I wrote it to where, and they go through a hard time. But, I write romance for a reason. I like happy endings, it's like, romance gets poo-pooed a lot, but it's like, everybody in real life, it's like, what do you want? You want to love someone and have them love you back. So to me, it's a universal thing, and I don't know why it gets poo-pooed on a lot of the time, but
yeah,
because people have no joy in their
and love is love is love. Let me just say
exactly.
That.
Here's another question: do you plan to keep writing K-pop dramas, or do you see a natural end for them?
Terry, I'm gonna
wash your mouth out.
Asking the hard questions.
I would like to keep writing them, as long as people read them. I mean, if like suddenly I write a book and like I get 0 sales, then, maybe that's a message. I am still occasionally doing a cowboy book, but, for Harlequin. But, those are much longer books and they take me a lot longer to write. So I don't do them as much. So.
From Mike, you see Mike?
Do you see
book
fan book? There can be some. Like here's one thing. People who are outside of K-pop fandom make fun of it a lot. They think it's lesser than, that it's not quality. It gets, and there's the same thing with genre fiction. And it's not just romance. Romance is the butt of a lot of jokes, but genre fiction in general, a lot of the time gets the same sort of treatment from people who like more literary or highbrow fiction, which I have no problem with any kind of fiction, whether it's literary fiction or historical, contemporary, whatever. I think there's room in the world of books for all different kinds, the same way I feel there is room in K-pop for many, many groups. It doesn't have to be just one or a handful of groups. There's, it's like I like everybody from EXO and SHINee, the groups that have been around for a while who are bigger names, all the way to newer groups, like Yay, Kingdom and Just Be and P1 Harmony, it's like, yay, all the loves. So I don't understand it's like let people like what they like and don't poo all over it. So
and don't poo on people. Exactly.
That too.
So what has inspired you to write and publish a series in general?
Okay, 2 reasons. Totally honest here. One is, it's a group. So, unless I was going to write a book about a soloist and be done with it, there was going to be, a number of books that are living in the same world. And then quite honestly, from a financial perspective and a marketing perspective, readers love series. If you can get them hooked in the first book, me as a reader, I've done this my whole life. It's like, you read the first book, you love it. And then you discover, oh my God, I have to wait a year for the next one. And, but that was like traditional, what we call traditional publishing, when it was like just through publishing companies who put out print copies. And that's still viable. I obviously still write books that are print. But so far, and I'm going to put these books in print. I just haven't got there yet. The focus of our and but with a number of years ago, what we term viable self-publishing became a thing, where you had the Kindle came out, and then later on Barnes and Noble's Nook came out with the entry into the market of e-readers. And ways that authors could control their own books, do them the way they want to, instead of to, some faraway person's idea of what your book should be. Now, I'm saying, like anything where you bring down some of the gatekeeping, there are going to be garbage things that make it into the marketplace, just like, in anything. I endeavor not to write garbage, but so because of that, I can get them out faster. I don't have to like turn it in and then like a year later it finally comes out. So that's good for readers, because if they read the first one and they're like, oh, I want the second one. Back when just the first one was out, they didn't actually release the first 3 books at the same time. I waited until I had written and edited and had the first 3 ready and launched them all 3. That way, while people were reading books 1, 2, and 3, I was working on 4, so they wouldn't have to wait so long. So now it's, it's just easier that way.
Yeah. Look, I must admit, I'm getting sucked in. Once you get to know the characters, you just want to Like
It's
we're
like-
season 2 of Imitation. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
It's
And
like,
I'm the same way as a reader. It's like I have a ridiculous amount of books. I mean, the last time we moved, I purged like, I don't know, it was like enough books to have filled the small library in my hometown growing up.
Wow.
But and I still have a fair amount. And now with a Kindle, it's like it's a stupid amount of books I have sitting on there. But it's like I get hooked in a series, and it's like I have to read them all.
Yeah.
It's sort of funny because it's like how I find it so hard to sit down and watch a movie, but give me a 16-episode show. All right, now we're talking. Like,
oh, I'm a total binge watcher too. It's like my husband is just like 1 hour of TV every 3 months and he's done for. He's just not a TV watcher. And so like I blow through 8 or 10 episodes of something on one of my days off, and he's just like, how do you do that? I was like,
dedication.
how do you sit in front of the internet as long as you do reading about stocks? I don't know.
Exactly. Right. Look, one last
every
question.
episode has a cliffhanger too.
Yeah. We are going to move on to the best part of the show, obviously, except for Trish, is the game. But one more question, and then we're going to play a game.
How do you deal with burnout slumps? Well, since I was burned out writing the books I was before, I just started writing something different. I have gone through probably my worst like emotional slump was before I ever got published. I had been writing for 10 years, submitting for 10 years, and no sales. And at that point, self-publishing wasn't a thing. I mean, if you did self-publishing, then it was vanity publishing where you had to pay them to publish your book. Yeah, no. So I got depressed. I was like, okay, I guess this is just never going to happen. So I call it my summer of Buffy, because I just laid on the couch and I watched all 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all 5 seasons of Angel, and the first season of Supernatural. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I got an idea for a story, which ended up being one of my young adult novels. I did 3 books that were about teenage witches. It became that, and I eventually sold those. Usually that book became 3, and I eventually sold them. But it was just, I had to take a step away. And a lot of the time when you get burnt out, if you indulge in some other person's creative endeavors, like I was watching a different type of story. I was watching it on TV, or I watch movies, or you listen to music, or you find inspiration somewhere else in other people's creative work. So yeah, that's kind of how that was the worst. And then so because I got that new story idea and kind of was like, okay, we'll give this a little longer. And the next summer I sold my first books. So
yay.
Awesome.
Right. Look, but before we get onto the game, where can people actually find your books? They want them Amazon. Where can they find them all?
They're available on Amazon and on Barnes and Noble, Google Play, Kobo, which is like Canadian and some other countries. And then what is the other one? Oh, Apple Books.
Apple. All right. If I've actually put the link to Trish's Trish Milburn website, I haven't put I'll add the Word of the K in there as well, and I think that also shows where everyone can buy the books from on the actual website.
They have there are links.
Okay. Right. We're going to play a game. We'll go through the hard
Hope
bit.
it went better than last week's. Lord, y'all suck.
Last week.
I'm prepared to go down in flames.
No
I
pressure.
am terrible at all of these.
She was shaming. All right. This
Now
is
watch
called...
it. I will totally suck today, and I have to
She
eat my
could be
words.
asking me questions about my own family, and I would be like, I don't know this person. I've never.
We want you guys in the comments to play this as well. So Miranda, if you can keep an eye on and let us know who the winners, who did the best out of everyone in the comments. All right, this is called No Country for Old Men. Right, you have to. These are some of Trish's. Some boys from some of Trish's favorite groups made old.
Oh no!
So we have to,
oh sweet Jesus!
Oh no!
Do I get to play this too?
You get to play it. I'm sorry what I've done to some of your idols.
This is
Trish,
going to be the
but
zombie game.
I'm
all
pretty
over
sure.
Again, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure Trish is going to win. Okay, let's go. First one.
Do we need to call out our name before we answer?
Yes, you do.
Oh my God,
Yuto.
is that Yuto?
Sarah, Yuto.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Oh my God, Frankie, I'm never forgiving
made
you.
him
This is
I know.
horrific. this ain't right.
I'm wearing
Sorry,
my
right.
you.
Look, I didn't say who said that first. Was it Trish or Sarah?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay,
This
Trish.
ain't
Now, look, I
right.
forgot to say it's 10 points for everyone you get right. The one, sorry for leaving. Hang on. We'll put him up. Okay. So,
Thank you.
and after that, it's you have to say your name first before you say the answer.
Oh, okay.
So I know who it is, and then last round is 50 points. So basically, anyone could win. All right.
I mean, I'm wearing my Yuto shirt today.
Okay. Yeah. There's things. Hang on. I've got stuff all out of order in my freaking. All right. What am I
Next
doing?
comment.
Hang on. I'm just trying to put them in order because somehow they're all out of order. Okay.
Classic caper.
A classic. Oh, I've lost one. Oh, damn.
It's a classic like Hagdom staple that something will go technically wrong
Yep.
at
Well,
some point.
Okay, Trish is probably quite glad because it was this one, and I can't find the aged version that I did. So I know Trish would be actually quite
God.
glad. Quite glad. Okay, so next one.
I can't even guess. It's too absurd.
Is it Trish? Is it Zuho?
No.
Oh. Who is that?
Yeah, some of them I thought were too easy, so I added a moustache.
The mustache is to throw us off.
Yeah.
I see.
It's like a caterpillar.
It's like a real what's his name?
Let's see if anyone-
Magnum PI.
Yes, the comments have got it already. It's
it's Key.
Key? Oh my
Key.
gosh.
Wow.
Frankie, you've outdone yourself.
The mustache
with
really
just
threw me off.
the absolute horror show that's happening right now.
okay. Next one.
Oh God.
Sarah, too
Sarah?
young from the boys.
Yeah.
Okay, who snorted?
Oh my gosh, it was not me, but I was close.
All right. Next one.
It's Natalia.
Yeah.
Juno from Ace.
Terry is going to hunt you down and
Oh, no. Sorry,
This ain't
Terry.
right.
Sorry, Terry.
This ain't right.
I'm sorry. I got this one's terrible. All right.
oh,
Sarah,
Trish.
Why am I
Sarah.
getting a Neil
Is it
Patrick
Ito?
Harris
Sarah?
vibe?
Yeah.
it's Ito from Luna.
That's so wrong.
This. Why have you done this? Oh God.
Oh, I feel like I shouldn't. The mustache again. Oh my God.
I can't. This.
Oh, the eyes look familiar. Oh.
I feel like I know this.
This is what I showed Alex last night. She's going, I feel like I know all of them, but I have no idea who they are.
He looks like a cartoon character from like Wreck-It Ralph.
Let's see if anyone in the comments, Yes, it's Kun.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
wow.
gosh, I would
Okay,
not
you
have
did
gotten
him
that one.
wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet
Aw.
Lord in heaven above.
Oh God. Oh,
Natalia.
wow. Why is this so
Natalia?
hard?
Beckian.
No.
No?
No.
Huh.
Sarah,
Yeah?
is it Hyuk?
No.
Oh.
No. No one in the no one's got it in the comments either. I'm gonna have to do it. It's
Oh,
Sudan.
God, why?
Oh, wow.
okay, second last one.
Oh, wait. I feel like I know this too.
Oh.
Sarah,
Yeah?
is it Zuho?
No.
Why do I know? I feel like I know this.
I'm gonna give Trish a little longer because it's her show today.
Oh.
He could be in a group beginning with E, but not EXO.
Oh, it's Elast. Oh crap.
I have a guess if she doesn't.
Me too.
Romans?
Yes. We
Yeah.
let you have too much time then, Trish. But all right, last round. 50 points. No one really cares.
Points don't matter.
Oh my
Oh no, Sarah,
Yeah.
Mingyu.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Mingy. He's my boss.
Why have you done this? Why?
This poor boy was like the inspiration
Look,
for one of my
it's-
heroes.
it's a
And
game,
then-
Thou
It's a game,
done
right.
this to
So
us, Frank.
We're adding up the points. Natalia 10 points, Trish
Woo, I
20
made it on the
points, and
board.
Sarah 70 points.
Woohoo!
I'll just go, Sarah. Hang on. Oh, there we go.
Confetti.
Yay!
Yeah.
You did everyone so dirty.
I agree, Terry.
Frankie,
That's so
Frankie
disturbing.
wins for just
Look,
sheer
Look,
giving us nightmares tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a whole. I do actually do viewer game nights on the channel. For half an hour, I play a game, and viewers vie in the comments to be the viewer champion. So if you'd like me to do that particular game of No Country for Old Men, let me know. We might do one for old ladies as well. But
Otherwise known as that's
oh my
so
god!
wrong.
Oh my god! Mike's cancelling me! Mike's cancelling me! No!
Mike, we can't cancel her because then who will update the Harry K-pop
That's
hits
right. That's
Twitter?
right.
It's not
Oh my god!
Frankie.
Shh. Look, shh. Don't give me away. Look, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're gonna wrap up because I'm getting cancelled. I'm like fucking god. Look,
Anyway,
Andy
shout out
wants
to
do-
Yuko.
Andy wants to do it again. Andy wants to do it
Yeah,
again.
you go.
She's not cancelling me. Look, Mana reads. Look, hello. Thank you. Right. Piss off, right. Thank you, Trish. Look, thank you.
We love you
I had
too.
no idea. I knew you were talented and amazing, but I just had no idea how talented and amazing you are. I'm really
Thank you.
who knows? Like, what other hidden talents do some of the hags have? I don't know. We might have to
Oh,
find out.
that would be interesting.
Probably not as good as Trish, but whatever.
No,
you know.
Natalia down here.
Oh, Natalia. Well, I've got Natalia.
Stewie.
And
I feel like I'm on Brady Bunch.
I keep
As
my
I said,
talents so
I'm gonna
open.
get the hags to make infomercials about all the interesting stuff they want. So yes, there's gonna be some infomercials on the look. Stop cancelling me. All right, she's not cancelling me. All right. So, but look, thank you for being on. Everyone, rush out and get yourself one of Trish's books. Start from the first book. Just start
Right.
from number 1,
Yeah.
Idle in Love, and
Yeah,
work your
for
way
sure.
through. Because don't start at the end like me, an idiot. Just start at the beginning.
They're
because
very
that's-
well written.
Well,
They're
the-
very
Start
fun.
from the very beginning. Oh, but you can. They're standalone books as well. so
Yeah,
you don't have to.
they're connected, but they can stand alone. If
stand
you're not
alone.
going to be like completely confused. you
Trish,
know?
I'm trying to sell more books. Shush.
Yay!
Right.
Buy all the books, everyone.
Just read them all. That's what I
please,
say
all
too.
good. Books.
Read them
Have a
all.
look in the description. There's a link to her website. I'll put the other link in there shortly. We'll take you to where you can buy a book. Thanks so much. And look forward to some more shows. We've got our regular shows are starting up again soon. They'll probably be just as much as a mess of this one. I don't even know what we're going to start with. But I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So
Thank you,
bye-bye,
everybody.
everyone. Bye. Bye. Can I even find the outro because it's been so long? Bye.